Hi, my name's Brian Zutel. I'm your 2021 Professional Standards Committee Chair. I'm also serving as a member of the CAR Professional Standards Committee and the Forum on Forms, as well as the CAR Legal Affairs Forum and Attorney Referral Panel. I've been in the real estate industry for close to 20 years and have been a real estate attorney for 12 years.
My name is Elena Gates, and I am your 2021 Professional Standards Committee Vice Chair. And I am also a member of the Education Committee for OCAR and also the Young Professionals Network. I'm also an educator in the community college system and teach real estate.
On November 13, the NAR Board of Directors voted to make some significant changes to its professional standards policies. The changes went into effect immediately upon enactment by the board. Specifically, NAR voted to do the following: add a new standard of practice 10-5 to the Code of Ethics article stating the following: realtors must not use harassing speech, hate speech, epithets, or slurs based on race, color, religion, sex, handicap, familial status, national origin, sexual orientation, or gender identity.
In addition, NAR voted to revise the professional standards policy statement to expand the applicability of the Code of Ethics to all of realtors' activities, not just real estate related activities and transactions involving realtors. They also chose to revise the definition of public trust violations to include all forms of discrimination and fraud. Pursuant to NAR policy, public trust violations must be reported by local associations to the real estate licensing authority in the state and or other relevant government agencies. Now, why did NAR decide to make this change right now? Was there really a major problem that needed to be addressed?
NAR described it during the social unrest throughout the nation in the late spring and summer of 2020. NAR received an unprecedented number of complaints about realtors posting discriminatory speech and conduct online, especially on social media. Local and state associations experienced a similar influx of these complaints. The Code of Ethics has embodied principles of fair housing for decades, and as such, NAR's action to add a hate speech provision to the code is consistent with the spirit and intent of the code, as well as the guidance embodied in the Golden Rule. Now, some may ask, is it true that the Code of Ethics now applies to everything I do? That seems overly expansive.
The new standard of practice 10.5 to the Code of Ethics required NAR to change its policy to expand Code of Ethics enforcement to cover all of a realtor's activities. However, to be disciplined, a realtor must have done something to violate a specified duty in the Code of Ethics, either in the articles of the Code of Ethics or in one of the standards of practice. Why does NAR want to regulate activities outside the real estate business and or the real estate transaction?
A realtor's speech and conduct reflect on the realtor organization, as well as the entire industry, whether said publicly on a business social media profile or privately on a personal one. When a realtor pledges to abide by the Code of Ethics, the highest principles and ethics of realtors must be followed in all of their activities and cannot be abandoned in a profession dedicated to protecting the best interests of consumers.
To put simply, when one realtor engages in discriminatory speech and conduct, those actions demonstrate to consumers that they represent the action of realtors collectively. The realtor brand is built on ethics and integrity, and discriminatory speech depletes the strength of that brand.
Here are the top 3 most common questions or concerns. Number 1, will I be found in violation of Article 10 if I share or like a social media post that is later found to be discriminatory, even if I personally did not make the discriminatory comment? Now, this will ultimately be up to each professional standards hearing panel and will depend on the content of the message and context in which it is liked or shared. The target of the new standard of practice is intended to be those who engage in the discriminatory speech rather than those who are reacting to it. Nevertheless, keep in mind that you could be found in violation if you make comments that approve of or amplify the discriminatory speech of someone else.
Second most common question is, I'm a broker. If my agent makes a statement that is found to be in violation of the Standard of Practice 10.5, will I also be found in violation? In October, the CAR Board of Directors passed a motion that provides guidance to professional standards hearing panels regarding when it is appropriate to discipline a broker or designated realtor based on the actions of their salespersons. The guidance states that a DR and/or broker can be found in violation of the Code of Ethics if 1, their salesperson's violation stems from the DR's or broker's failure to establish a system that adequately supervise agents and to monitor salesperson's compliance with the Code of Ethics. Or 2, a salesperson's potential violation of the Code of Ethics is brought to the attention of the broker and/or DR, but the broker and/or DR does not take reasonable steps to remediate the violation. In addition, the guidance states a DR and/or broker should not be found in violation of the Code of Ethics if 1, the salesperson's actions were contrary to the broker's and/or DR's established policies, and 2, the salesperson's actions could not have been prevented by the broker's and/or DR's reasonable supervision of the agent.
Number 3 question, why doesn't Standard of Practice 10-5 cover all of the protected classes in California? The Code of Ethics is a national policy, and most states do not include all the protected classes that California does, whereas some states have other categories that California does not. Keep in mind that if a protected class is not specifically mentioned in Standard of Practice 10-5, it will not be covered by the new policy. Of course, realtors should still be respectful of all persons, including the protected classes under California's fair housing laws, even if a particular instance of discriminatory speech is not actionable under the NAR Code of Ethics.